Hello students, today I'm going to discuss about the chapter 3. The name of the chapter is Landforms and Life. So let's start the chapter. Okay. So in the previous chapter we studied about the land masses which is known as continents, and now we are going deeper into the world, and now we are moving on to the landforms and its kinds. Okay. So landforms is what? Landforms is basically the different forms of land which is known as landforms. Clear? Which includes mountains, plains and all. Okay, so now we are going to study about major landforms in India one by one. Okay, so the first landform we have mountains. Okay, so we are going to study about mountains. So the landform that are much higher than the surrounding land are considered as mountains. Okay, so what they are saying? They are saying that this is a base land. For example, this is our base land. So the topmost area, okay, yani ki the area which is above the land very much, it is as compared to the surrounding land, it is known as basically a mountain. Okay, so the mountains can be categorized as a broad base. Okay, so this is having a broad base, steep slopes, that means they are having a steep top slopes like this. Okay, and a narrow summit. Okay, that means this is broad from the base, and now this is getting narrow as we are going above the surface. Okay, so this is a kind of structure of mountains. Okay, mountains can be recognized by okay, this is done. Features of mountains vary according to their altitude. Okay, so different mountains according to their variations in their altitude is categorized as different kinds of mountains. The high altitude mountains are generally covered with snow, while a lower altitude snow melts every summer and turns into water. So this is very easy to understand that the mountains who are having snow, uh, okay, if they're very high, so it is not possible to melt snow from the top areas, because we know that as we go upward from the baseline of the earth, the temperature starts changing. Okay, but the mountains which are low altitude, that snow are easy to melt due to in summer, due to moist temperature in summer season. Okay, and which then turns into water. So all the snow melts from the mountains. Okay, which then converted into water. That's why they are saying that water flows towards the place, because that snow after melting converts in the form of water, which then flow towards the plain as a river. Okay, what is plain and why it reaches towards plain, all we will discuss after mountains. Okay, therefore, many rivers originate from mountainous regions. Okay, so because of snow melts from mountainous parts and it is flow through it, a kind of river flows through it. That's why we say that a river originates from mountainous regions. Okay, okay. Highlands with lower height, less steep slopes, and rounded tops are hills. Okay, so how hills and mountains are differentiating? Hills are having top slopes at the top, but I'm sorry, mountains are having top slopes, but hills are like this. Okay, so they are not having any top slopes at the top. Okay, they are having rounded tops. As you can see, it is rounded top. Clear? Most of the world's mountains are grouped in a mountainous regions such as Himalayas in Asia, the Alps in Europe, the Andes in South America. Okay, some of these ranges stretches for thousands of kilometers. That means they are very low, they are very extended in the world. Okay, now let's study about some major mountains of the world. This is very important that the highest mountain in the world is Mount Everest. Okay, so Mount Everest is present in is between China and Nepal. Okay, this is the highest mountain. Okay, and the second one is Kanchenjunga. This is categorized as the second largest mountain. Okay, and the Indian state which is present in Sikkim. Okay, that means Kanchenjunga present in Sikkim. This is the second highest mountain peak of the Himalayan range. Okay, first is Mount Everest and second one is Kanchenjunga. Okay, Mount Everest height is around 8,400 meter. Okay, next is Mount Aconcagua. Okay, this is important to learn. Mount Aconcagua. This is present in South America and is highest peaks of the Alps. Okay, Mount Aconcagua. Okay, Mount Kilimanjaro is in East Africa. It is isolated mountains that is not part of any range. Okay, so this is not categorized under the Himalayan range. This is an isolated mountain. What is that mountain? This is Mount Kilimanjaro. Okay. Next we have Mount Black. Mount Black is Western Europe, is the highest mountains of the Alps. You have to learn all these. And next is Mount Anamudi, which is present in Canada, and it is the highest mountain in southmost part of India. Okay, as you can see these ranges. This is the latest photograph. Okay, you can see that these mountains are extending their heights, and they are considered to be as young because its height because the height of these mountains are still growing. Okay, they are usually young because they are still developing stage and their heights are increasing continuously. Okay, like the Aravalli Hills are considered as old mountains. Okay, so these Aravalli Hills are considered as old mountains because its hills are not increasing continuously as the above I told you. These are, instead of increasing, it is decreasing continuously. Okay, you can see that due to continuous erosions, its peak is becoming rounding and height is definitely decreasing with that. So these are considered to be as old mountains. Clear? Now we have mountain environment, and how kind of environment we are looking towards mountain. So mountainous slopes are often covered with special type of forest, okay, which is known as montane forest. Okay, they are covered with special kind of forest, which is montane forest. In these forests, you will find many tall cone-shaped trees like pines, firs, spruce, and deodars. Okay, so these are kind of trees which you will find in such mountain areas. Okay, these trees have thin, pointed leaves that leaves them survive in a cooler mountain climate. That means these thin leaves are helping them to survive in that cooler atmosphere. Okay, which generally many plants are not able to do that. As you go higher up the mountains, okay, the trees start to disappear. Instead, you will find grasses. Okay, so this is important to know that as you will go up. Okay, so the trees will start to disappear and grasses, lichens, mosses, these will start appearing. Okay, mountains are also home to wide varieties of animals. Okay, so definitely mountains are home to many animals. Many lives in the areas of mountains. Okay, in deep forests, near rivers, lakes, grasslands, and even in canyons, you can find animals like the golden eagle, peregrine falcon, Canadian lynx, snow leopard. Okay, and these are such animals which you will find such climate. These creatures have been in these forests, you will find many tall cone-shaped trees like pines, firs, spruce, and deodars. Okay, so these trees are also having thin pointed leaves, which are helping them to survive in cooler atmosphere, which is also a very good thing. And apart from this, they are that means as you go upward, you will start seeing that trees are going to disappear, and lichens, mosses, and grasses are started appearing. Okay, as you know that mountains is also a home of wide varieties of animals. Okay, in deep forest you will near lakes, grasslands, and even in canvas you will find that many animals live there. For example, golden eagle, peregrine falcon, Canadian lynx, snow leopard, and all. Okay, so these creatures had adapted live in the unique environment that mountains provide them. Clear? Next, we have studied about the atmosphere in the mountains, that we have seen that if we go deep forest, we will find a lot of kind of species of animals in there. And now we are going to study about life in the mountains. Okay, so mountain terrain. Okay, so what mountain terrain means? It is a piece or stretch of land from the point of view of its physical feature. Okay, this is called mountain terrain. Okay, so it is usually rough and has steep slopes, so regular farming is mostly done in some valleys. Okay, a lower area between hills and mountains, often with a river or stream flowing through it. Oh, see, you need to understand that it is not possible to do farming in the topmost areas. For example, if you see that mountains are such kind of having top, right? For example, some mountains are having such kind of top at the top of the part in the mountain. Okay, so definitely it is not possible to do farming in such tip like areas. Okay, so we do terrain. Okay, what terrain basically means? Terrain farming is by cutting steps in the slopes for cultivation. Okay, for example, you are having such kind of steps, okay, which are helping them to do cultivation more easily. Okay, and it has several advantages also. For example, herding animals is more common than farming tourism. it is having so many advantages like soil erosion and all. Okay, and apart from this, mountains are having a great you can say that tourism are often visit for income. So mountain has is also become a major source of income because many tourists like to visit here. Okay, because people are really attracted towards this beautiful nature and atmosphere. Okay, its scenery, it has a beautiful scenery and waterfalls, so many tourists love to come here. Apart from this, tourists often visits for activities like skiing, hiking, mountaineering, paragliding. Okay, these are some activities which tourists generally like to uh, experience. People have also been visiting mountains for religious pilgrims for many centuries. However, too many visitors have a delicate mountainous environment, making it important to find a balance. That means every kind of tourism tries to visit, and they have often damaged the environment several times. Okay, so it is very important that all people maintain a balance between atmosphere and their physical activity so that nature don't get any harm. Okay, next we have challenges do people face living in mountain areas. So what are the challenges they are facing? They are facing flash flood is a sudden flood, okay, in local regions due to cloud burst. Okay, so a local flood, which you can say, which definitely it is sudden, so people are not aware and ready for that to face that. So it is very dangerous for the people live around that, and the sudden heavy rainfall can quickly turn into mountain streams into dangerous floods. Okay, so it can damage homes, roads, and the livings of humans. Okay, landslides is what? So soil and rock sliding down slopes and can destroy human block roads and mountainous areas. Okay, because you I hope you can imagine that soil and rocks, if it will slide through the slopes, then it can reach towards the homes and the livings of people, so it can damage those parts also. Avalanches is what? So it is landslides due to heavy snowfall. If a very heavy snowfall is having due to in the northern part of India. Okay, towards Jammu Kashmir side. So large snow slides can damage the villages and disrupt travel in snow mountainous regions. Okay, so it is very difficult to survive in that condition. Heavy rainfall is what? When excessive snow and can block roads, limit access, and cause damage to houses in mountainous regions. Okay, so if very excess snowfall is having, then large parts of snow is getting down towards on the road. Okay, due to which roads are blocked, people are not able to travel properly. So these kinds of problems they are going to face when they live in a mountainous regions. Last one is cloud burst. This is also very important to understand. Intense short burst of rains can lead to sudden floods erosion in mountainous regions. So these are something like a normal floods and tsunamis which we face in our daily life. Okay, but the difference is that due to their mountains, so very sudden attacks they are going to face. Okay, there is no idea of that. Next, we have sacred mountains around the world. Okay, so we have definitely seen around us that we treat mountainous and some nature as a god. We sacred it due to some previous historical reasons, right? So similarly, like that, many traditional communities around the world see mountains as sacred and worship them. Okay, this is a kind of belief which people follow. Mountain Everest, we have already discussed, it is the highest mountain in the world, carrying 849-meter height. Okay, so Mount Everest is also having different names. Okay, to sacred. Okay, people used to sacred and worship this mountain for this reason. Okay, Tibetan is also called as Chomolungma, which means mother goddess of the world. Okay, so people are trying to sacred their mountains, okay, and worship it. Nepalese call it Sagarmatha, meaning goddess of sky. That means different people are calling it with different names, and ultimately they all aim is same, that means to worship and sacred the mountains. Mount Kailash in Tibet, also considered sacred by people who follow Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism, and Bon, an ancient Tibetan religion. Respect for mountains as a holy place is common in India and many other parts of the world. Okay, so basically, they are trying to say is that many mountains and places are considered to be a sacred and worship for according to their people's beliefs. Okay. Now we are moving on to the next part of our chapter, which is mountains. Okay, let's talk about it. Mountains. Plateaus. A plateau is a landform that stands higher than the land around it and has a flat top. Okay, so we have discussed that mountains are having also a higher land as compared to the surrounded land, but the difference is that plateaus are not containing any topmost point at the top. I mean mountains containing, but plateaus are not containing any top point. Okay, so some of the sides are steep, so that means its sides are steep like mountains. Plateaus can be old and young in the earth's history. That means they can be old, they can be very very old like mountains. The Tibetan plateau is the largest and the highest plateau in the world. So like Mount Everest is the highest mountain in plateaus family, Tibetan plateau is the largest plateau. And the Deccan Plateau is another well-known example. Plateaus can vary height from a few hundred meters to several thousand meters. That means plateaus are very, very long. They are very elongated. They reaches into kilometers. Okay, but plateaus are generally some thousands of meters. Okay, so we can say that plateaus are smaller than mountains. Plateaus are rich in minerals. Okay, this is very important point to note. Okay, is that plateaus are rich in minerals. Okay, while mining is a major activity in these areas. For example, the East Africa plateau is famous for gold and diamond. This is also very important that East Africa is famous for gold and diamond mining. And in India, the Chota Nagpur plateau has large reserves of iron, gold, and manganese. Clear? The environment on plateaus is diverse. That means they are not constant. Many plateaus have rocky soil which makes farming difficult. Okay, so they are having rocky soil which makes the farming very difficult. However, lava plateaus formed by volcanic activity often have rich black soil that is good for farming. So we have studied about black soil in previous classes, that black soil is very good for growing cotton. Okay, so that kind of soil also grows in such kind of plateaus. Okay, which is definitely very beneficial for us. Plateaus are also known for their beautiful waterfalls. Okay, so as you can see in this particular image, a beautiful water is flowing through the plateaus. Okay, so these are plateaus. Okay, this kind of structure are having plateaus and such kind of waterfalls are flowing. Okay, some famous ones include Victoria Fall in Southern Africa. So this is the name of plateau which is in South Africa, and Hundru Falls on the Subarnarekha River. Okay, this is Chota Nagpur Plateau. Shok Falls on the Shavradri River in the Western Ghats, and these are some other examples. Okay, which ropes 340 meter from the Cherrapunji Plateau. Next, we have done with plateaus. That plateaus are shorter than mountains. They can also be very old like mountains. Okay, what other we studied? We have studied some famous plateaus. Okay, Tibetan is the largest plateau. Okay, see these some points we have covered. A beautiful waterfall flows through it. Okay, so these are some major points which we have covered. Now we are moving on to the next topic, which is plains. Okay, so let's talk about it. So plains are large areas of the flat and generally rolling down without any significant hills or deep valleys. That means they are not very high, they are not having any top like mountains. Okay, these are almost flat. Okay, they are usually no more than 300 meters. That means they are not even reaching 1000. They are very small as compared to plateaus and mountains. Okay, the average level of the surface of the ocean, also called mean sea level. One special type of plain is called flood plain. Okay, so floodplain is formed by rivers that comes from the mountainous regions. These rivers carry tiny particles of rocks and slits known as sediments. So what sediments? So small tiny particles of rocks are called sediments which down to plains. Okay, so try to understand what they are trying to say. Mountains, plateaus. Okay, so we have studied that rivers are originated from mountains, so rivers flows through it. Okay, so when rivers flow, it contains sediments. It contains sediments and particles with it, and which makes the river fertile for the agriculture, and now it submerges into plains. Okay, that means plains are really very fertile for agriculture. This land is very beneficial, very good, perfect for agriculture purpose, because they are not having any top boundary. We don't need to do any terrain for cultivation. This is flat land, so we can easily do farming on it. Clear? Because of this, agriculture is a major activity. I hope you understood. Okay, now life in plains. So we have studied that plain is very good. They are containing alluvial soil in it, and this is very fertile for agriculture. Now we are going to study about life in the plains. Okay, so thousands of years ago, the first civilization developed near the rivers in fertile land. Even today, many people live in plains because they are good for farming and other activities. So just because plains is very good for farming and for other agricultural activities, people live there. Okay, so that they don't need to do any kind of cost and expenses to reach onto the land where they need to work. Okay, so they make their home over there and they live near the plains. Okay, for agriculture purpose. In India, about 400 million people live in the Ganga plain, also known as Gangetic plains. Okay, this is very fertile and the best cultivated land for agriculture. People in this region mainly work in farming and river fishing. Okay, because they are generally living, because they are basically living in an area where the land is fertile, where river and water is easily available. Right now, what kind of agriculture we are seeing in that area? Let's talk about it. So, agriculture. Cultivation was developed in the fertile region of plains thousands of years ago. In most of the plains of the world, the major occupation of people are river fishing and agriculture. Okay, so near the plains, because the land is so fertile, so the major purpose was river fishing and agriculture. This point is clear. Next is in Gangetic plains, agriculture is major occupation. Why? Because the land is so perfect for agriculture. Food crops such as rice, wheat, maize, barley, millets are grown in this region. Fiber crops such as cotton, jute, hemp are also grown in this Gangetic place. Then why would people not live in this area where so much resources are easily available? Traditionally, agriculture is mostly rain-fed. Okay, rain is irrigated by rainfall, but in recent decades, irrigation in facilities like networks of canals, groundwater are used in water the fields. Okay, so traditionally agriculture traditionally irrigation method was used. Okay, which irrigation is something irrigation is a method of providing water to our crops while doing agriculture, while practicing agriculture. Okay, so irrigation is a traditional process, but now sprinkling and many other modern processes are coming, so that's they are talking about. Okay, so irrigation has increased agriculture production. Obviously it is a method to provide a large crop water easily. So this increased agriculture production, we are able to do we are able to provide water in less time, but it has also contributed to the depletion or decreases of groundwater, because irrigation requires water from underground. Okay, so this decreases underground water. Okay, this is a challenge for the future of agriculture in the region. That means we cannot deplete so much groundwater from the ground. This can make the soil very less unfertile, very unfertile. Okay, and this can lead problems in the future. Clear? This was about agriculture. Now let's study about culture and economy. So rivers and mountains, regions or plains around the world have immense cultural value. Okay, so many communities have considered a river source as confluence with one or two other rivers to be sacred. In India, many festivals, ceremonies and rituals conducted at such locations. Okay, that means they are categorizing that like mountains, we are also sacred, rivers and all. Okay, and in India it is very culturally believed that many festivals, ceremonies, rituals and conducted of such locations. Clear? As plains have a gentle slope, we have studied that plains have a gentle slope. They are not having any topmost point or having steps like structure. uh, Plateaus were like a table wood, right? So they are not having that. They are a flat surface. Okay, so rivers is easy and supports a lot of economic activities. Right, if the so for example, you think that you are having a mountain like that, so can you build a house over it? You can, I'm sorry, for example, you are having a mountain, so can you build a house over it? So it is not possible to make a house on the mountain. Okay, the land, the slope is very it is very curved, so definitely it is not possible to maintain any economic activity. But for plains, the land is very flat, so it is possible to build houses and factories over there. I hope you are getting. So in earlier days, people also used rivers to travel from one place to another. Even today, there are stretches along the Ganga where people prefer to use boats to move from one place to another. Clear? Deserts. So deserts are considered to be large dry landforms with little precipitation. Okay, so we have here about desert is the area where no water, where lack of water, where sand all over there. So that same scenario they are talking about, very little precipitation. That means very lack of availability of water. They're also having unique flora and fauna. Okay, flora is they are talking about plants, and flora is talking about animals. Okay, so they are talking about animals, and from flora they are talking about plants. Okay, so there are two types of deserts, hot and cold. Okay, we have two kinds of deserts. Examples of hot deserts are Sahara deserts in Africa and Thar deserts in northwest of Indian subcontinent. Okay, and examples of cold deserts include Gobi deserts in Asia, and some experts also consider the Antarctica continent as a desert because there is very cold over there. There is very sandy area and less of precipitation. Okay, humans have adapted to most of the deserts irrespective of their harsh living conditions because peoples are adapting the environment because of harsh conditions. This is due to lack of money, lack of opportunities. Okay, so they are adjusting that problems. Okay, in India, communities living in the Thar deserts or migrating through it have rich cultural traditions related to deserts such as folk songs and literature. So this is how they celebrate the culture, I can say. Okay, and they are migrating it through rich cultural traditions. Okay, so this is a tradition which is going on from a long past ago. Okay, so here was our chapter complete. I hope you have studied all the topics properly, and now we are going to do some exercises to grasp our knowledge more. Now the first question we have: mountains can be recognized as. So mountains can be recognized as gentle slopes. Okay, so mountains have very gentle and gentle slopes, and at the top they are making a narrow path through it. Highlands with a lower height, less steep slopes and rounded tops are known as. Okay, which have lower height, less steep than mountains. This is known as uh, hills. Okay, so this was the difference between hills and mountains. Mount Aconcagua is the highest peak of what? This is the highest peak of ants. I told you this is important. A higher altitude, the trails gave way off. So I told you that there were trees, and as we go above, we got grasses, mosses, and lichens. Clear? Floodplains are one type of plains formed by. So these are formed by all of the above. Okay. Dash are most suitable for large scale agriculture due to its fertile soil. Okay, so very suitable, which is agriculture. So we have studied that plains are really very applicable for fertile land, as the plain is flat, so it is possible to do agriculture over there. A dash is natural feature found on surface of earth. Okay, so dash is natural feature found on surface of earth. So landform is the natural feature found on surface of earth. Okay, Dash in South America is the highest peak of ants. So we have just discussed that Mount Aconcagua is the highest peak of ants. Okay, so Mount Aconcagua. Okay. A dash is a landform that stands higher than the land around it and has a flat top. Okay, so I hope you are categorizing higher than the land around it and has a flat top. So this is a condition of mountains. They are having top above. Okay, plateaus are also known for their beautiful what? Plateaus are also known for their beautiful. We can say waterfall. Okay, या फिर हम सीनरी भी बोल सकते हैं. सीनरी वर्ड was used in the chapter. Okay, scenery. Dash are formed by rivers that come from mountain ranges. Okay, dash are formed by rivers that come from mountain ranges. Uh, I think the answer is mountains. Okay, because mountains are formed by plains. Plains is the correct answer. Okay, and dash are formed by rivers that come from mountainous regions. So we have discussed that plains are formed through mountains when rivers flow through it. So they contain sediments and some particles around through it, which makes the land fertile and makes the land perfect for agriculture. So the correct answer is plains. Clear? Next we have Mount Everest is the highest mountain in the world located between Tibet and Nepal. So definitely this is the correct option. The answer is true. The Aravalli Range is an example of relatively young mountains range. So this is not the correct, also false. The Deccan Plateau is rich in mineral deposits, making mineral a major activity in the region. Definitely this is the correct answer. The highest mountain peak in the world is Mount Ketu. The full name is Kanchenjunga. This is absolutely correct, and it is present in Kerala. Okay, this is this is second number Kanchenjunga. So this is false because the highest one is Mount Everest. Okay, the Deccan Plateau is bordered by West Ghats on the west and the Eastern Ghats on the east. So this is the correct option. The Deccan Plateau bordered by the West Ghats on the west and Eastern Ghats on the east. Okay, this is true. Plains are characterized by high elevation and rugged terrain. So this is not correct. These are plateaus which are characterized by high elevation and rugged terrain. Okay, so this is false. Now match the following. Mountains is what? Mountains, elevated landform with steep landforms and narrow summits. Plateaus are what? Rises above the surrounding level and low-lying landforms often fertile, suitable for agriculture. So this is plains and this is A. Okay. What is landform? So we have already discussed landforms is what which are having different kinds of variations in their lands like mountains, plains, plateaus and all. Okay, two highest peaks in the Himalayas. We can write any two highest peaks, okay, like Mount Everest, Kanchenjunga. Name the highest mountains in South India. Okay, so we have already discussed this one also. Okay, this is in Kerala, Anamudi. Okay, terrace farming. Terrace farming is what when we do. For example, this is plateau. Okay, so we do this kind of, we make this kinds of steps. Okay, which prevents the agriculture for soil erosion and makes the farming possible. Okay, what makes flood plains ideal for agriculture? How has the Ganga river influenced for cultural practices? Due to sacred beliefs. Okay, you can write that due to sacred beliefs. Okay, influence for cultural practices. Okay, and Ganga is also known as Gangetic Plains. Okay, you can also write about Gangetic Plains. Okay, so mention some points in this answers. So what are the mountain forests and where are they commonly found? What are common animals found though? So mountain forests are commonly found in the northmost area, and you can write some examples of forest. What evidence suggests mountains have spiritual significance in many cultures? So many advantages suggest, for example, we have above studied that Tibet is known by two names. Okay, so they are known by two names with different practices and different religions according to their sacred beliefs and worships. So you can write examples of all those. Define plateaus and give its importance. You can write it. Plateaus are very important. Okay, plateaus are having a lot. You can write that plateaus are having rounded top. Okay, they are having rounded top. And what are its importance? Its importance in helps in soil erosion. Okay, for example, if we do what? If we do terrain farming. Okay, so there are so many advantages of these. Write short notes on plains. You can write a long note also on plains. Plains, we have studied a lot about plains, that land is very fertile. Okay, we are having fertile land. Okay, mountain ranges. It came through mountain ranges through river. Okay, so you can add all these points in this also. What is terrace farming? Why it is practiced in mountainous regions? Because it is not possible to do farming in those areas. So we do step farming. Okay, terrace farming is what? When we create steps on the farming. Okay, it helps to prevent it from soil erosion. Okay, the same point you can write here. And why it is practiced? But it is not possible to do such kind of farming on the slopes and on the high slope ranges. So we do such kind of farming on plateaus. Okay, where we do such kind of farming in plateaus. Clear? So what are the major types of landforms and their significance to life and culture? You can write points on it. What are the challenges and opportunities? That means all we have discussed in the above of the chapter. Types of landforms are what? Mountains, plateaus, Okay, mountains, plateaus, plains. Okay, and significance of sacred lives and cultures, in this particular portion you can write that safety. Okay, safety, respect. Okay, so for these purposes, we used to second it. What are the challenges and opportunities of life associated with each landform? So we have studied the challenges and opportunities in every field. You can write points from there. And what challenges do people face living in mountain areas? So in mountain areas, they face so many challenges. We all read four phases, right? We read 4 points on this topic. For example, we read that at any time sudden climate change, sudden rock can fall. Okay, sudden rock fall. Okay, so many examples you can write. Okay, so sudden activity changes, they used to fail, block roads हो जाती हैं. Okay, so road gets blocked. Okay, so these are points which we have studied in the chapter. You can write from those. Explain the importance of plains for human habitation and agriculture. So obviously, what are the importance you will suggest of agriculture and human habitations for plains? Plains provide a fertile and beautiful land and perfect for agriculture. So many of the human livings live on the plain areas, and the land is flat enough as compared to mountains and plateaus, so living is also possible in these areas. Okay, so these are some points and important questions which we have discussed in this chapter. I hope you understood the chapter. Thank you.